We say things that don't mean anything, but thanks for listening. Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to We Say Things, episode 1 and 4 and 9. We are in Stockholm. Man, you really zoomed in these cameras.
No, I didn't.
You just want to show these double chins
Just sit
off,
back
huh?
a bit. You know, just lounge.
Yeah, if I lounge, this is what it looks like.
Very good.
So we are in Stockholm, of course, at the Major. Sorry we're a couple days late. But, you know, do what you gotta do. Nah mean, son. This is probably the worst intro that I've personally done.
Well done.
Why do you have headphones on?
149. That's a good question, actually. No, I don't.
All right, that's a good boy. Man, you really fucked these cameras up. What is this?
What do you mean?
This looks terrible.
What is it? What's the problem?
It,
I showcased you this before we went live. You said nothing. We go live and you're like, the cameras are bad.
because I didn't think about it until now. Okay, it's fine.
That's great.
We'll just continue on.
Wow, you really always care about this stuff.
So-
Wow, the lighting is bad. The camera angle's bad.
That's actually you.
I know. That's why this is funny. Because
Okay,
you're
but
complaining.
you think that this looks fine somehow.
I think it's
I mean, you
okay.
can't even see my hands.
Just lift them up higher.
My baby hands.
You can see
Okay,
my hand
so
slapping you.
this week is going to be a bit of a shorter episode probably,
Yep.
and we'll get into what's happening next week. But first, thank you to our patrons, beautiful patrons. I have it on my tablet over here. Thank you to Happy 30 Clinically Obese Dave. If you are eco-conscious and want a good chair for cheaper, check remanufactured chairs from BTOD or Crandall. Not an ad.
Good.
I hope so.
Good.
I cover my ears during scary moments too. Oscar Seeker, purchasing the In Bruges tier in hope this podcast lasts forever. Do you have the wish to experience something for the first time again? Wish I could forget I played Artifact and delete it. Vovalicious, with Trump coming back to Twitter, it's time to introduce a $100 per month subscription to Smurf-free rank games. Okay?
What?
I don't understand that at all.
That makes sense.
Roundy 3. No, but seriously, Dota can have way more active players than it currently does, and it's a shame that Valve doesn't do it justice. Disco Farm D. What sound does my lovemaking make when there's no one around to hear it? Stooge, simple stooge, stoogey. No, I said I'm not. Okay. Akuna Matata lives in Chandler Gilbert, just saying. Commander Donut, Chakar still an asshole. Milan Miami, the Mega Pope, and tell us about Beyond the Summit TI in New Zealand.
And Zan Xavier, Nate Thicko01, Hamscroats, Bacon Shark TM, Freshly Seasoned Goat Balls, Dop, Nothing to See Here, _ man, Hey Google, what time is it? You sweet oeuvre mort, can we get Seb on the podcast? Ben Broomhead needs to change his Patreon name. Pitch Black, Wooden Aftertaste, Anonymous, and Peter. Egyptian mummies wouldn't be so rare today if the Victorian British hadn't eaten most of the Niebling. That one has to be a lie. That's a lie. There's no way
Egyptians'
that's
mummies wouldn't be so rare today if the Victorian British hadn't eaten most of them.
There's literally no way that's true.
That sounds fake.
There was one more thing I want to say. Oh, yeah, the setting. We are sitting in a game room right now. This is not
right.
one of our hotel rooms. That's why we have gaming chairs, and there's
Move
like other
over.
PCs in the background. So we're just recording from here and doing a short stream for this app. Stop pushing me.
See, this is better.
Okay. Do you want
I
to sit all the way
can't
back there? I think it's okay. It works. It's a scuffed up.
Yeah, it's real scuffed. All right, so let's get started with the episode, which next week's episode is the new... Cut that out, post-edit. Moving on. Next week's episode, it has not been 100% confirmed, but it's 95% confirmed that we will, in fact, be doing a live episode 150, in fact, at the Major in front of people. Very cool. I don't know exactly how it's going to work or what day specifically, but I've been told that the arena doors open, let's just say 10 a.m., and the games don't start till 12. So if we start the podcast basically right when the doors open, people can kind of trickle in and watch us if they want. So if you're in the Stockholm area, come join. I know there's still some seats available, but that's pretty fucking cool. Not gonna lie.
You nervous?
So nervous.
Bet you're gonna belch in front of a live audience on podcast.
So-
You'll make a challenge out of this.
I'm not. I don't know if they would want me to name them. The person that's putting this together for us has said that they will be disappointed if I'm not myself.
Oh.
Despite, and apparently, I don't know.
Last time that happened to James at the Shanghai Major, he got fired, so.
That actually is almost a direct quote. That's true. But it's not streaming to like ESL. It's still my channel, right?
That's true.
And if I'm belching in an arena, in what universe in the future will I ever have that opportunity to belch in front of a ton of people?
Yeah, better grab that while you can. What a great opportunity.
I mean, when I leave this earth, Cinderin, I don't want to regret things like this.
Yeah, with the same line of thinking, you could be like, when will I ever again have the opportunity to strip naked in front of 100 people?
Yeah, but I won't enjoy that.
Oh.
I enjoy belching.
What if we
as you
would?
know.
The audience would enjoy that, which is more important than you.
No, I could care less about the
Okay.
audience. Okay,
Alright.
next topic. The NBA.
Oh, yes.
It's not great news, everybody. I thought it was going to be an easy 4-1 series for the Suns. It is 3-3 against the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know how that's possible. The Suns have played so unbelievably bad. I have just been depressed watching them. We do get to play Game 7 in like a day or so. Who's coming in? Oh, hi. Welcome to the podcast,
We're recording
Evany.
the podcast,
Come say
Evany.
hi.
Do you want to join?
We
You
have
can
a
be our
special guest. It's Evany.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I just came into find some.
Yeah, get some snacks. Enjoy yourself. All right, that
This
was
is-
Evany.
This is my favorite cameo ever. I just came in to take
We can make
snacks.
that the title of the episode.
Guest episode, Evany.
Very good. Let me just take a swig here.
Not sponsored? You wish, though. You actually wish.
That would be
That's
the
gotta
sponsor.
be high up on your
Anyway,
list.
the Suns might lose, Cinderin.
They might. They might also win.
Yeah, it's going to be at home. I don't know what to think.
Didn't you win all the other home games?
We have it. Yeah, it's been every home team has won, but
All right.
we've been so bad that I've just lost faith in the team. So, either way, I'll be okay. No need to check on me. I'll wake up at 3 a.m., watch that game, and then might not show up to work.
Yeah. Well, if you lose, I know. If you're not at work, I know why, rather.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right.
I'm cheering for you. I hope you win.
Thank you, Cinderin. I
Because I
appreciate
care
that.
about you and I want you to be happy. As long as it's not at the expense of me, which is why you can't just belch directly into my face. That I'm not in support of that, even if it makes you happy. It's not.
You
worth
don't think you would laugh?
it. I would probably be a bit disgusted. I would
But
probably
you-
laugh too.
You'd still laugh.
But it would be a net loss for me.
Would it though?
Yeah.
So the laughing is a defense mechanism or what? Anyway, let's go to the next topic.
You're such a robot, actually. You're just like.
Next topic. Slacks and I came out with a little workshop submission.
Oh.
The Dota Jam workshop submission. It's a... Okay, I'll tell you the whole story about this. Let me just explain what it is for a lot of the people that don't know. There's a game called NBA Jam, which I feel like most people would have heard about at some point. It's
in
very-
the U.S.
It's in the U.S. especially, but I feel like that is a global game though.
Isn't it called NBA 2K?
No, that's a newer. No. So okay, NBA 2K is like a simulation, right? It's like
Okay, so
realistic.
NBA Jam is a very old.
NBA Jam is like very cartoony, like you can jump in the air, do somersault, and slam dunk.
So like Space Jam. The movie.
Space Jam is a movie, but
Yeah,
sure.
It was a good movie.
So in the
I watched
early
that.
90s, they came out with a
Maybe.
game called NBA Jam, which was a very like arcade type, like for fun basketball game. It's like 2-on-2, so it's like
Okay.
not 5-on-5 or not realistic at all.
Sounds more like table tennis. Then.
Actually, you can look at my shirt. Of course, it's so zoomed in you can't see shit.
Of course you can. Look at the
NBA
great shot.
Jam. There you go. Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Anyway, so this very iconic game came out in the early 90s. They made a bunch of different variations, and it has an extremely iconic voice attached to it, where if you guys have heard things like He's Heating Up or Boom Shakalaka. It's
Or
like
is
his-
it the shoes?
Yeah, people keep asking for that one. I've never heard that one personally.
Maybe it's not the same announcer then.
It is.
It's just very iconic.
It's very
Is it
iconic.
the shoes?
So
I heard that one.
The guy's
Fake
name is Tim. Oh shit, Tim Kritzschra or something like that.
That's probably right.
It's a hard last name. He's been the voice of NBA Jam, the voice of NFL Blitz, which was one of my favorite games of all time as well. And so what happened was I was actually streaming, and somebody contacted me that was a subscriber. And he's like, I know the guy, the NBA Jam voice guy, and I'm looking to do an announcer pack. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And he's like, I'm looking for advice or something like that. I can't remember. This is like a year and a half ago.
And you're like, can I have his number? And you just did it behind his back.
So essentially I talked to him and I said, I think it would be cool if I wrote some lines for it, because obviously I can have a big crossover between NBA and Dota. And then I'm thinking to myself, why not Slacks and get involved as well, because he can do lore, even though it's not, it doesn't have to be purely NBA stuff. Mm-hmm. So got Slacks together, we did a bunch of lines, and they had Tim record all these lines that, we wrote, and they're fucking hilarious, right?
If you say so yourself.
They're hilarious. And yeah, so we submitted the workshop submission. I actually met him. It's been over a year now because he just happened to be in the Phoenix area, so I had dinner with him. I'm wondering if I'm allowed to say that. I feel like it's. So I was actually, maybe I did mention this. Did I ever mention I met him in the past in the podcast? So I was appalled. So he's a waiter, okay?
Okay.
And I'm like, I wonder why. Not that being a waiter is a bad thing. That's like, it's fine, but he's in his 50s. And I feel like he'd be rich, right? Mm-hmm. Like he wouldn't need to work anymore. Apparently, he got fucked by Midway, which is the company that they never actually gave him any royalties. Can you fucking believe? Like, it's literally the most iconic voice in arcade gaming, in the U.S. at least. And I was disgusted by this. So hopefully, if it gets in, he'll make some money. But
He's making royalties on this one.
That was so weird to me. Like, it's such a disconnect from, like, the way that things work in esports, which is very messy, but you don't get, you get fucked over, I guess. But on that scale, that doesn't really happen very often, right? So, yeah, we came out with the workshop submission. I'll put the link in the description of the video if you guys want to vote for it.
It's got a lot of support on Reddit so far. It was very overwhelmingly positive.
There have been 2 downvotes on the workshop submission.
Out of how many?
Thousands.
That's pretty good.
It's a good ratio, I won't lie.
One of them was me.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
The other one was my Smurf.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Good effort.
I got Susie to log in and download it too.
God, I'm really holding back belches
Yeah,
here.
you are actually awful.
Maybe I can slip one into the announcer pack. So, an announcer pack hasn't really come out in a long-ass time in Dota. And the community... the community announcer packs have never really come out other than like Pyrion, and that's kind of it. Everything else has kind of gone through Valve. Even submitting the workshop item, there's not an option for an announcer pack.
Oh.
I had to submit it as a loading screen. So, yeah, who knows if it's going to happen.
But we
But
get it in as a loading screen at least. Just the NBA loading screen. That's it.
yeah, they won't get sued for that one.
No, that's fine.
So yeah, that's that. Okay. Moving on to the
Vote for it.
Stockholm Major.
Please
Syndrome.
confirm in chat that you have voted for it immediately.
Confirm. Great. Even if you hate it, you have bad taste. Man, even my pointing, I have to go all the way up here to see. This is pathetic. All right, so let's just talk about the Stockholm Major as it is right now. First and foremost, Mind Games, one of the teams in Group B. They didn't want us to say forfeit. They have been eliminated.
They didn't want us to say they got disqualified because that
forfeit.
implies that they did something wrong to get DQ'd, which they didn't. They have just not shown up.
That's
because
kind
of
of
these
doing.
issues.
That's kind of doing something wrong.
Usually disqualification is if you break a rule, right?
Yeah.
You get disqualified if you break a rule or if you're unnecessarily if you pull a pure or something like that. That's disqualification.
Okay.
So they're no show. They didn't manage to get visas in time to get here, so they didn't get to play. Which means we're down to 13 active teams. One group with 7 and one group with 6.
It's unfortunate because obviously with China not being here, it meant that the groups, I wouldn't say they don't matter, but because Mind Games is now out, that means nobody in that group is getting eliminated in the group stage. It's literally just for seeding.
Yep.
upper lower bracket, all that good stuff. So if you're in Group A, which we'll talk about a little bit later with EG, feels really bad that one team will be eliminated that's actually come here. So, but I want to talk about mind games because there's some speculation. I've heard some things behind the scenes as well that they kind of made it seem so. First reaction from fans is that ESL fucked up, which is definitely not the case for this.
For this.
For this. Hey,
Okay.
nobody's perfect, But they made it seem like they had visas ahead, like way ahead of time. And ESL had backup plans because they, any tournament at this level is going to have like a plan A, plan B, plan C, etc. So they had contacted a couple teams ahead of time saying, hey, if this team can't come, then we need you to be ready. Mind Games kept telling them that they had visas.
Yeah.
And apparently they didn't. One of their players literally didn't have a passport. Apparently. I don't know how it's fucking possible. So
Wait,
a lot of...
okay, hang on, give me a sec. You're playing Pro Dota to go to a major, and you don't have a passport.
Yeah.
What?
It's...
What did you expect?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
This is one of those stories that sounds so absurd that
Maybe it's
it
fake.
might just be true.
It could be fake news as well.
It's like, okay.
But
Well, either way, whatever has been lost in translation or whatever has been communicated, whether it's fully true or not, Mind Games aren't here, and the backup plan was not put in place in time, seemingly because of misinformation from the team, right? So that sucks because we could have had another team, like, I think it was it CIS Rejects that were maybe ready to jump in and play, or maybe it was one of the other teams from the region, I'm not sure. I think
Yeah.
CIS Rejects were the next in line, right? They were the ones
Yes.
that got fourth.
So, yeah, they're understandably, a lot of those teams are not happy because Mind Games kind of not only fucked themselves, but fucked other teams from being able to participate in the major. So, yeah, that's kind of the big story of the major itself so far. But if we move on past that, we can talk about, do you want to talk about standings
We'll
like
do standings
as they are
last.
now? Okay.
Let's do standings last.
So I want to talk about some talent that are here. So MLP and John X Flyer, I didn't know this, but I mean, obviously they've been working together for a long time. They had never actually physically met in the 5 years that they've been friends. which
5
is
years.
crazy.
Imagine that. They've cast together for 5 years. They've been invited to every event, and John X Fire always said, "I have a passport," and then he didn't. So they just didn't get to go.
Yeah, that's really
But after
unfortunate.
5 years, he was sent one by a player from Mind Games, and he
Right.
could participate with that. So that was amazing.
It just worked out.
Good for John.
That's good stuff.
Let's go, John.
Uh,
They're great guys.
yeah, he
They're
was
very
having,
likable people.
He was actually having issues with his travel, like a lot of people from SCA were. So he
Yeah.
came like a couple days late. He
Yep.
traveled straight from the Philippines and then cast without even coming back to the hotel, which is
He
crazy.
arrived, and then he went to work.
Yeah, that's.
He seemed pretty lively for having flown that far. I was
I would
impressed.
have. Yeah, you could not pay me enough. Okay, you could. You'd have to pay me a lot more to go straight to work because I would want to take a shower. Not that he smelled bad or anything. I would smell like a trash can though. I've made that trip before. It's bad. It's brutal. So yeah, I'm glad to see some new blood and whatnot. They're very nice gentlemen.
They have
along
a-
with
For not having been to major lands before, I feel like they have a pretty big fan base. Like there's a lot of people that have really been cheering for them and were excited to see them. So that's awesome as well for the people that follow them for the years that they've cast online, right? They've cast a lot of qualifiers, hubs. I think they have cast some of the DPC also before this year, right? It wasn't only
Yes.
this year that they covered it. But this was their first big land that they got to go to. And they seem genuinely really excited about it, like stoked, and they're having fun and they're mingling very well with the other talent.
it's
So,
great to see that spark, because in a couple months it's going to be gone.
yeah.
You become jaded as a talent.
Or as we say in Dota, you become jaked.
jaked.
Yeah, you work with slacks, 2 events, and then
Then you got to shave your head and become a demon.
you're jaked.
Yeah,
You just become jaked.
it's rough stuff. In addition to that, obviously we've met Avo before at
Yep.
TI, but he's accompanied by his co-caster Seek and Strike, who again seems very, very nice. I'm glad that we're getting like a lot of newer people. I say newer, but obviously they've all been casting for a while now. But newer in terms of people that are typically invited to majors.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that ESL was able to expand kind of the general pool to freshen it up a bit. Obviously with China not coming and then Mind Games, a lot of games were actually lost as
Yeah.
a result.
There was
which-
even more talent meant to come, but
Yes.
we lost
And
teams.
of course,
so.
we obliged. They asked us if we wanted to work less and give our cast to other people to provide them an opportunity to showcase themselves. And I'm like, of course, I'll sacrifice those many hours of casting for other people. Not
was a-
because I just want to rest.
That was
all
a
day.
big thing.
We sacrifice a lot for the community. Like, you mind doing one less best of 3 today? I'm like,
You threw a fit.
oh man, that's a tough one.
They literally
Boy.
had to have you escorted out of the studio because you were putting your foot down. I will cast
I
every
will
game.
cast everything. So yeah, happy to see that. And then lastly, in terms of talent, Fly is here. Obviously, he's been on the podcast before. I recommend, or he actually asked me if there was going to be any casting spots at the, was it at the, or just for DPC.
To which you asked, do you have a passport?
I asked if you have a passport, and they said yes. I'm like, prove it, bitch. But no, I contacted somebody at ESL and asked if they had anything. They're like, it's kind of full. But then I guess Fly convinced them. They just took a look at him and said, okay, this man is attractive.
He had dirt on them.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Players have a lot of
Must be
dirt.
it.
Actually, they have dirt on each other, not so much tournament organizers. But he's been, I mean, not surprisingly, he's very eloquent and very put together. Been very good at casting. I know he's wanted to do some panel. I don't know if they're going to get him to do any, but he'd be a natural at all of this stuff. So
Can I just say, like, based on what you hear from other games, like Counter-Strike or Call of Duty, like other esports, I feel like our talent group in general just gets along really well. Like, it's very positive reinforcement, like a nice work environment. People are very open to cover for each other if somebody's sick or if somebody can't do it for whatever reason. If there's like some spontaneous change up in schedule that happens, like somebody's going to step in and be like, you know what, I'll do an extra series to help cover. Like, it's very, like, it's always going to be indirectly competitive because there's only finite spots at events or whatever.
Right.
But people aren't like trying to set each other up for failure in any aspect. Like, we just do our jobs, we do our best, and it's awesome to see other people. Yeah, and everybody that's here, it's just nice. So I think that's something you might just take for granted if you're from Dota, but I think if you do other games, you might have a different experience.
I took it for granted at first, and then because there were a couple people that maybe not the best, but over time they've been weeded out and whatnot. And if you look at the Counter-Strike, it's much more toxic. It's so toxic. I can't even believe some people would want to work there, doing that game. Which
If you love the game enough.
I'm trying to understand how that happens. Like, is it literally just the game? Like, people that play Counter-Strike are more aggressive by nature, or was it
What
just...
do you work for, a news channel? What the fuck? Shooters cause aggression.
No. You know what I mean. Like, they're more bro-y. Does that make sense? That's definitely a thing.
I guess. I don't know.
But my guess is that a couple people that became popular, which is by luck and just being at the right place at the right time, they just happen to have that type of personality, and it kind of breeded more people like them, creating this quote-unquote boys club, as I think it's called in Counter-Strike. So
I don't
that's
know
my
what,
best guess.
I don't know what the cause is. I don't
Because
know why, but
I'm a Counter-Strike guy, and I don't feel like... I know I'm not like that at all, right? I guess I would not have fit into that culture. So it's a good thing I picked Dota.
Yep.
It's a good thing.
Good.
All right. So let's get to the stand. So this is the shitty thing about doing the podcast today is we can't do full groups updating and all that stuff once the group stage is over. But I thought it would be weird to have a podcast like 4 or 5 days after the last one. So plus, like, what the hell would we talk about on the next podcast if we did that?
Well, if we had done this one on Monday, the groups would be over, but then it wouldn't fit our schedule. Oh, that's very good. Yeah. We should have Jenkins as a guest again. You will absolutely. Wait, why did I just do this?
I don't know why you're doing this.
You were just scrolling, and I'm like, let me do this.
Okay, so
Why the fuck did I do that?
the problem is, like we said, a lot will change within the next few hours, and then tomorrow and the next day, we'll kind of wrap it up.
So instead of talking about actual direct standings, we can talk about what regions are doing well. Like, who's been impressive and who's
Okay.
underperformed so far, right?
Yeah.
So take everything with a grain of
we
salt.
could say Tundra has already...
Tundra's guaranteed upper bracket.
Yeah.
As the only team currently with a score of 7-1, so they're doing really, really well. The overall regions that are performing the best are Europe, with Tundra, Tundra, Liquid, as well as OG are all looking, I would say, pretty good overall. SCA, I think, has been the biggest positive surprise overall. T1, Fnatic, as well as Boom are all good. Boom have 5 draws as of right now. Very interesting scoreline. That's exceptionally rare. Did you see that? But it obviously can happen. They have 1 series left. And then, did I mention Gaming Gladiators from EU? I don't think I did. They're also looking really good. So I think EU and SCA are great. And then out of CIS as well, or Eastern Europe, both BetBoom and Team Spirit are also doing great. So as a matter of fact, the only region so far that has yet to really deliver is NA. Evil Geniuses have been looking pretty damn poor compared to expectations.
Garbage, some would say.
TSM are a question mark, I think is fair to say for now. They still have games to cover. They have 2 draws and a loss.
Yeah.
So they could definitely still
keep
make
in mind,
that.
Quinn was
standing
in with
That's true.
Bryle going to off lane. But now Saberlight's back, so they have their original roster.
That's true. They're a full squad now, which might definitely affect things in a positive way. And then I guess finally, SA, the region that I guess most people were expecting to underperform. Beast Coast do not have a good scoreline right now, but Thunder Awaken have been looking very promising in their games. A lot of people have Pakas as a future superstar as well out of that region, so it'll be very interesting.
They've had the best game of the entire tournament by far. The game against Team Liquid, where they were down mega creeps, and what was it? It was a toss back into double lasso into the fountain. Matu's Wraith King died 3 times because he had Aegis, and they come back down God knows how much with mega creeps. That's one of the best games I've ever seen, for sure. That was fucking crazy. And I mentioned this on panel, but I'm going to say it again. Fly literally called it right before it happened. He's like, this is the only thing that can get them back in the game, and they did it. That's one of the few times that you hear an analyst actually say something of worth. Am I right?
That's true.
Okay.
We didn't really mention how well BetBoom are doing, right? Because there was some speculation. Okay, they qualified out of the Eastern Europe qualifier. How good are they really? It's a short format. They didn't play the long league. They just played a bracket system. They have definitely proven here that was not a fluke, right?
Yep.
They've got 1 win, 3 draws, and 0 losses to their name in a group with some pretty damn good teams. They crushed EG today, which is the least impressive, I guess, overall. I guess that 2-0 is less impressive than some of their draws based on how things have gone so far. We've cast 2 of the series. It was that one and the one against Boom. And the game they won against Boom, they just rolled them. So, very, very promising. This is a team that could get top 6, I think, based on how they've played so far, which would be, great result. First lane for 3 of their players, I think.
We never did predictions, did we?
No, I don't think so.
Is there a point in doing them now? I guess we wait till next episode.
Yeah, next episode will be for the arena, right? Or no, it won't.
It'll be narrowed down to like 6 teams.
Yeah, there will be a few teams left. Yeah, we'll see.
Something like that.
But yeah. So that's basically the state of it. If EG don't start winning literally every game, they will be the only team eliminated in groups as it stands right now.
Yeah.
They are 0 on this board. They're 0-1-3, but I think it might almost be 0-1-4 now. At least they lost the first game of the series they're currently playing.
They did?
While we're recording.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you watched it, right? They got stomped, you said.
Oh yeah, they were up. They were down like 30.
They were getting giga stomped by OG, I think.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
yeah.
So
Tough times for EG.
Yeah.
Got to figure it out.
that is rough stuff indeed. Which is weird because that was the one team I wasn't really that worried about.
I thought EG were a contender to get a high placement in this tournament, and
Yeah.
it's just not
They
happened.
have-
Sometimes things just don't work out.
They have miscalculated something.
Yeah, something's just off.
Okay. And in terms
versus,
of
actually, what's quite interesting, just quickly with EG? You know how at the beginning of the last DPC season, they had like this start when they brought in Jerax, and their first like 2 or 3 weeks, they just looked totally off from expectations, right? They were
looked
really
like that
poor.
again.
And then they had time. They had a lot of time to recover, figure out their mistakes, and then they actually pulled one out of the bag and actually made it out of that season, right? This time around, they're in it feels a little bit similar, whereas things are disconnected. Their drafts aren't fantastic compared to other teams. Just that they don't have that time to adjust. They don't play a game a week. They play all their games in 4 days, right?
that's true.
And if you don't see rapid improvement day to day, it's just too late.
And it's the
Right, so-
actually they've been playing together, I guess, for a while, right? Like boot camping. So there's no.
I believe they didn't boot camp leading into this, is what I've heard. I don't know why, but maybe they were exhausted from the DPC boot camp. Maybe they
Exhausted. It's like
maybe
one
set it up
game a
poorly.
week.
Yeah, but it's a
What's
long
something
time.
exhausted about
Yeah, if you think about it, though, if they're boot camping for an extended period of time and only play one game a week, it's like the external things,
It's
right? It's
travel exhaustion.
It's travel. It's being away from everything. Like some of their players, Nightfall, Abed, who knows when they were home last and had
Okay,
rest.
that's
It's different. Like, it might be something that's not in the server, really, that could be affecting them a lot, like getting break and rests and stuff. And then maybe the timing just didn't line up very well with when they did get their break was when they should have actually been training hard for this.
Right.
You got to find that sweet spot where you have enough time to rest. Because if you're just grinding nonstop, then you burn out. And if you don't play enough, then you're not ready, right? So, whatever it is, it's speculation, but the bottom line's the same. EG are just not good right now. That's how it is.
Indeed. Okay, so that is the major, and that is almost the last thing.
This is gonna be a pretty damn short episode.
We can do
actually.
a couple mailbag questions.
We will.
Last news of the week is that FY has joined IG. He's back.
The Tusk King. Yep.
You think of Tusk when you think of FY? I think of
Tusk and
Rubik.
Rubik. It's just a
You have to
famous.
pick one.
It's a famous quote because of True Sight, right? Where he's like, "You dare pick X against the Tusk King," right?
Oh.
That was that clip.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Any thoughts on FY other than being a legend and all that?
He's very good. That's pretty much it, I think.
Okay, great.
Wasn't there also some news with Kaka? Am I mixing things up? Maybe I am.
Are you going to Google it?
I feel like there was some news with Kaka, wasn't there?
Okay, well. So FY joins IG. We'll see how that shakes things up in the Chinese scene. Obviously, there's a bit of disconnection overall since they're not at the major. They're doing their own regional thing, which, now that I think about it, when is that, Cinderin? I'm guessing it's after the major, right?
The Kaka news isn't that new. It's 2 weeks ago, so we probably already talked about that he joined RNG, right?
We did not. He joined RNG. There you go.
Okay.
When is the Chinese tournament? It's not even on Wikipedia right now.
I don't know, actually.
Okay, well.
But yeah, China obviously has their own...
Okay, so let's do a couple mailbag questions.
Wait, what do you mean? The Chinese tournament? They're
doing a regional thing.
They already played it, didn't they?
They played it already?
Isn't that
So
over?
we haven't talked about that.
Was that this week or last week? The regionals, the Chinese only tournament is already played.
Okay, I'm keeping up with everything as you can
Do
tell.
you want to guess who won?
PSG LGD.
That's a very good guess and is correct.
Is it on here?
I don't know why it's not on
Completed.
Wikipedia though. Oh, there it is. DPC CNT2 final.
Okay, we can talk about this.
Yeah,
but we
so
didn't-
that played from May 6th to 8th. So that checks out, right? We recorded the podcast on the 5th.
Okay, I did not realize that it was literally 4 teams, double
It was,
limb bracket.
it was a
so
super short tournament. That's why you
super
missed
fast.
it. It was just this weekend. That's it. But yeah, our last episode was Thursday and this started the Friday. So
Okay.
we couldn't have covered it until now.
So
Checks out.
PSG LGD beat RNG 2-0. Then they beat.
I helped
They
you
actually
scroll.
they lost to Aster 2-0, so going to the lower bracket. And then they faced Aster again in the grand finals and 3-0'd them. A lot of zeros that I'm seeing here.
There was a little bit of, I don't know if you want to call it drama or whatever, but Aster in their winning interview after they beat LGD in the upper bracket, they were throwing some shade, I wouldn't say they were like calling them trash, but they were perhaps not being like, yeah, they played great, but we were better today or something. There was definitely a little bit of a shade going on, so then LGD just had to,
3-0 them.
show them who's boss in the finals and shut all the haters up, Aster probably were not expecting to get rolled like that after they just 2-0'd them.
Rick rolled.
Yeah. So yeah, they got second. Aster did, of course, and LGD with another win are more or less guaranteed TI already without attending the major. They just got enough points. Like they're getting so many points from this. So I think the Chinese first place was 450, and I think the major first place is like 680, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
So this is a pretty damn good chunk of DPC points
Only
they're
top
getting.
2 get DPC points.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
That's odd.
The LGD get 450, Aster get 300, and XMG, or did I call them X? Is that what they're called?
Extreme Gaming.
Is it XMG or is it XG? Their
Just
short
X.
handle is.
I don't think it's XMG.
I don't remember it. Probably not. And RNG get no points for third and fourth.
Give them 5 points. Give them something.
5.
Nobody's gonna miss those 5 points.
That's true.
They're coming out of thin
Nor
air.
will they.
That could break a tie, Cinder.
5 points.
It's better than 0, technically. All right, so that was the DPC China regional finals. And from here, let's do a couple mailbag questions. Yeah. Can you tell me if we've...
Is this going to be our shortest episode in like a year?
No, because you're going to talk for a half hour with one of these questions.
Awesome. Okay.
Have we done this question? Let's read it real quick. I feel like we have, but I'm not...
I think we have, or at least one that's similar enough.
Yeah. Okay. Skipping that one. All right, so we have a question from Mr. Niebling. You get a billboard on Times Square for a week. What do you put on it and why? I would put a picture of my cat's face.
Why?
Because it's cuddly.
Oh, so you're just like...
No personal
This
gain.
will make people happy.
Just... I don't give a shit about... I've already established I don't care about other people.
So why are you doing it? It makes
Personal
you happy.
satisfaction.
It makes you happy. There's
Yes.
a cat there.
How about Mr. Cinderin? Would you want to advertise something?
I would put your face on there and then a text, missing. Have you seen this man?
That's very mean.
Why?
Because then people that know me will think that I'm missing. They'll
That's
be
actually
panicked.
true. But then they will be relieved when they find out you aren't. And that will trump the worry they had to begin with. So it's a net positive.
God, what a shit answer.
Okay,
actually.
what will I put on a billboard?
You don't want to put onion up there?
That's just a boring answer. You say you put your cat. I'll put my dog.
It's boring for you because I said that first.
I will put a message to all game developers. Finish your fucking games before you release them. 1 week on Times Square.
Is that a direct shot for Cyberpunk?
It's a direct shot at 2/3 of all game developers right now that have to push games before they're done.
Okay.
Don't release your games until they're done. There you go. We'll do that.
Great answer, Cinderin.
Thank you.
And then the final Patreon mailbag question comes from Lucky Bert. What is the oldest video game you have played in contrary to first game you have played? Is there a retro game you sometimes come back to and play once a year or so? For me, it is Jagged Alliance 2 from '99 because its mods are still getting updates.
Oh, wow. What's the oldest game I've played? Is this... Do you want to limit this to PC only, or do you want to do
No,
anything?
anything.
Shit, what's the... Okay, so in recent memory, the oldest game I played and finished was Super Mario 64.
Wait, is he asking, like, what's the oldest game you've played in general?
Yes.
Okay, so
The
it's
oldest game you've ever played.
Pong?
Yeah, well, that's going to be hard to beat, I guess. I don't think I've played Pong.
Really?
Did you play the original Pong?
I played something on Atari, so...
Okay.
A bunch of games on Atari.
What was that game called on... Was that on... Is that on Sega that you could play... It was some sort of... It was like a side-scroller where you were playing, I want to say, a barbarian or a Viking or something. Fuck, what was that called? Because when I was like 6 years old, and we went to... I don't know what you call that in English, where you would go after school but not going home. What do you call that?
Hell?
Like, let's say you're 6 years old, so you're in school for like until like 12, but your parents aren't off work yet, so you go somewhere
Daycare?
where isn't daycare the one for like really small children?
Yes.
Yeah, so the one after that, you don't have that gap. Like, you're done in school, you're not ready to go home. You go there for a few hours to play football with some other people, or play games, or build stuff out of Legos.
I feel like
I don't know what that's
that's
called.
not a thing in the U.S.
Okay. Anyway, there they had some old consoles. They had Super Mario 64. I remember they definitely had a Nintendo 64, but they also had the console that came out before that one, the big one. That was a Sega something, right? Was that the Genesis?
Genesis.
That was the one? So I think we had a Sega Genesis, and I feel like I remember playing that game. It's so fucking long ago.
The oldest game you played was on Sega Genesis.
Golden Axe! Somebody just wrote in chat. Golden Axe. I've played Golden Axe. That's probably the oldest game. That's probably the oldest game I've played.
Really? Wow.
I don't know if I've played something like really old in an
You're
arcade or whatever.
making me feel very old.
But I can't.
Okay,
think of
I'm gonna
it.
have a different spin on this because it probably is Pong. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with the oldest game that I still play from time to time,
Okay.
and that's Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It's fucking good.
That's also very old.
That's fucking good game.
It is a good game.
I have never beat it. to this day.
Have you seen the runs from Awesome Games Done Quick, right?
The guy that does it blindfolded.
Have you seen the blindfolded video? Oh my god,
Unbelievable.
fucking lovely. That was one of my favorite speedruns
All the
ever.
sound cues apparently you can do until you get to Mike Tyson, and
Mike
there's a
Tyson's
point where
RNG.
it's a 50-50 on which one.
Yeah.
Having known that, I still can't beat it.
It's a hard
I've gotten
game,
to Tyson one time.
It's supposedly a very hard game.
It's frustrating, but it is. All the remakes of it have been garbage.
It's the oldest game that I play on the regular. I don't know. Like an actually old game. So I think I completed Super Mario 64. That was like a few years ago. So it's not something I play regularly. Something I've picked up again, an old game that I really enjoyed playing again, was Command and Conquer, the first one. What a fucking awesome game that was.
That was
really
great.
good.
Red Alert as well.
Red Alert is getting the hype, but Command and Conquer, the first one, is the one. It's so good.
Okay.
It's better than Red Alert for sure. What's another? Do you want to go down memory lane with some other great old games? Diablo 1.
I never liked Diablo personally.
Amazing game from 97, I think it is.
Brood War for me was the first big PC game.
Yeah.
Before that was all console. So the Super Marios. What other big ones did I like? Metal Gear Solid, the original PlayStation. That was one of the best games of all time. And everything on Xbox was terrible. Halo, hated it. I regretted buying that console immediately.
What's the best new game you've played? Game that came
Hades,
out. Okay.
easily.
That's a very good candidate.
And then past that, I can't even think of one. It's been Artifact.
Yeah. Hades is godlike.
Yeah.
Amazing game.
Okay. Well, what are we at? 40
minutes.
40 minutes.
That's
It's
a
gonna be
short
lot
episode.
of-
Elden Ring. Elden Ring is very good, but I haven't completed it, so I can't really give that a full-on rating yet. I think I've played 25 hours only, so it's a very long game. I think your first playthrough is going to take almost 100 hours if you do a lot of stuff.
I'll take your word for it.
This episode is not sponsored.
God, it's like when I'm talking, the belch just come out full force. All right. That is our shortest. I'm pretty sure this is the shortest episode that we've ever done.
I don't think ever, but it's the shortest in a very long time.
You
But
don't
if we
think
keep
we've done one
talking-
lower than 42 minutes?
I think we have.
I'll check.
You will, actually.
The title of this will be the shortest episode we've ever done, probably.
Oh, is that a good title?
Not really, but
How about guest episode Evany?
yeah, we could do that. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully we see some of you at the Major. Let us know in the comments if you'll be there. If so, remember, we'll tweet like what day we're doing it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not 100% sure on the day. I was told the Saturday, but it could change. Who knows?
Remember, if you don't have tickets, it's in Stockholm, and it's 20th to 22nd of May, and you can just Google the Major and buy tickets. There's still tickets for sale, as far as I'm aware.
That's
You
right.
should still be able to
There
get
are
some.
still tickets.
Yeah, and if we don't, for whatever reason, don't end up doing a live podcast there, we're definitely casting in the arena. It's going to be awesome. This is the first time in over 2 years. I think it's 27 months since we had the last LAN with an audience.
When's the
in
last
Dota.
time I cast in front of an audience?
Captain's Draft.
Oh, that's true.
Or Midas Mode.
Midas Mode.
Midas Mode was after Captain's Draft.
Midas Mode 2 was
Yes.
after Captain's Draft.
That was a live audience, and you cast there, right?
Okay, yeah.
So
and
that's
then
the last one.
In an arena, well, would you call Captain's Draft an arena?
It's...
I haven't cast in
that was a
front of an
decent
audience very much because before that, I feel like panel, I've done audience stuff like some majors, but casting, TI4 All-Star match
Damn.
might be the only.
That is many years ago.
That might be the only crowd, like big, like legitimate crowd.
It's something else, though. I really look forward to it. It's so cool when the crowd is there. They get excited. They laugh at all my jokes because I'm really funny. All that good stuff. Yeah, make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you watch either the podcast live there or the Major, of course, or both, or everything. That's it. We'll see you in the next episode of We Say Things. Bye! Bye!
We say things that don't mean anything, but thanks for listening. Yeah.